What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2025 Mercedes-Benz CLA 250, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So we're in this one today because this is excellent four-door coupe styling. You got the frameless door glass. I'll show you guys that a little bit later in the video, but excellent interior quality. I can already tell you that right off the bat as well. And ultimately, the CLA is going to be competing with the Audi A3, Integra Type S, and BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe, just to name a few. So ultimately, in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so essentially there are two different configurations for the 2025 CLA 250. You got the front wheel drive starting at $44,400, then the 4MATIC all-wheel drive starting at $46,400. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant on the CLA is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, putting out 221 horsepower at 5,500 RPM, 258 pound-feet of torque coming in at 1,800 RPM. That power being sent to front wheels or all wheels through a 7-speed dual clutch with paddle shifters. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 6.3 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 26 in the city, 36 on the highway for the front wheel drive, 25 city, 34 then on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test or paddle shifter test here in the CLA, did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a button labeled dynamic, kind of located in the center area here. Stands for dynamic select, but that gives you a ton of different drive modes like eco, comfort, sport, individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, the steering sensitivity, and then there is actually a full manual shift mode if you were to put it in that individual driving mode as well, which is kind of cool. Just use the paddle shifters yourself, so I kind of like that. But now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test. I want to see how quickly the paddle shifters are going to react for us. I also want to see how quickly we can get our new 2025 CLA 250 here up to speed. Found our straightaway here. We are in manual shift mode in 3, 2, 1, go! Quick. So smooth too. Like, this transmission is buttery smooth for one. Paddle shifters are lightning quick for two, and that is plenty of an acceleration. Now, there was a little bit of a delay at the very beginning. You guys may have been able to tell that, but other than that, I mean, it's probably because it's a turbocharged 4-cylinder, but other than that, this thing is lightning quick and a very luxury-like shifts through the gears there. So I loved that. And paddle shifters are lightning quick and they feel high quality as well. Sometimes you get matte black plastic paddle shifters, but that's definitely not the case in the CLA 250. So huge fan of the paddle shifters. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 13-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 12.6-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that comes in a very respectable 121 feet. As far as braking feel goes, I love it. Definitely on the firm side of things, instantly brings you to a stop. I didn't expect anything less, honestly. Typically with SUVs, a lot of times you'll find soft braking feels, but this 100% feels like braking feel of a sports sedan, as what this car is. So definitely a big fan of that. But now let's go ahead and touch on suspension and handling. Up front, you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars. But you're also going to find a lowered comfort suspension if you go with an AMG package like the one that we have today. We got a night AMG package, so gives you a bunch of dark accents, if I could talk, but it also gives you that lowered comfort suspension. So overall, in my short little test drive here today, I will say it's definitely a very comfortable suspension. It's absorbing the road imperfections perfectly fine. So as far as ride quality goes, definitely on point, no issues with the CLA. As far as steering feel goes, let me put it back in sport driving mode here real quick. Yeah, man, I love that, man. It's definitely weighted on the heavier side of things in the sport driving mode. Instantly points you in the direction that you want to go. Like, huge fan of the steering feel. Like, I could have a lot of fun with that on some back roads, I'm telling you. And it does loosen up a little bit in comfort, but it's still kind of a little more on the heavier side of things, which I love. You guys know I love a firm steering feel because it really does allow you to have a lot more fun on the back roads especially. And in a car like this. So that is nice. But as far as cabin noise goes, we're going 52 miles per hour right now, so I'll let you guys be the judge of that through my Rode mic. For me personally, it's been 100% on point. Definitely not a whole lot of wind noise or road noise coming into the cabin, so absolutely no issues there. Then touching our rear visibility, I can 100% see perfectly fine out of my rear view mirror there, so definitely no issues there. But in addition to that, touching on forward visibility, rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on the CLA 250. So whenever this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers, kind of like automatic headlights, just one less thing you got to worry about, so you can better focus more of your attention on actually enjoying the drive in the CLA 250, because the thing is fun, especially that steering feel. So anywho, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2025 Mercedes-Benz CLA 250. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Mercedes-Benz CLA 250, finished in polar white. In case you were curious of the exact exterior color name that we had on this one with us here today. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the CLA is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter W, indicating that the new CLA is built and assembled in Germany, as it should be. But starting up front, matte black front grille will come standard, but with the AMG package like we have today, you will find a diamond block front grille, that traditional Mercedes style up front. Definitely looks good in my opinion, but both actually look really good, but I think I do prefer the diamond block front grille. But chrome front lip will come standard otherwise, but if you go with the AMG night package like we have today, which by the way goes for $3,100, you will get a gloss black front lip, so that's what you guys are looking at right now. Also, the front fascia in general is going to differ a little bit with that package. You got a little more pronounced gloss black accents in the bottom corners there, whereas a little more body colored accents if you were not to have gotten the AMG package, so I do want to mention that. There is also an illuminated LED star emblem that's available as an option for $450 if you wanted that route. Then take a look to the sides there. You will find LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. Get the automatic feature, and automatic high beams do come standard as well. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. So pretty cool little safety feature if you ask me. But that pretty much rounds out the front of the CLA. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so but now since we are around to the side of the CLA, you do have that coupe-like silhouette with frameless door glass. That is pretty stinking cool. I had that on my Infiniti G35 coupe back in the day, so I always liked that look. But chrome window surrounds do come standard unless you go with the AMG night package, and then you're going to get gloss black window surrounds. But either way, you still get chrome accents on the door handles. I did want to mention that. Then taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals, and again, they're not body colored again with the AMG night package. Everything's going to be swapped out for gloss black essentially. That's what I'm getting at. But then take a look down at the wheel setup. There are so many different options there, it's nuts. 18-inch multi-spoke alloys do come standard. They're going to be finished in silver. There's plenty of 18-inch and 19-inch designs available, and then you have the 18-inch AMG specific alloys for the AMG package that we have today. So overall, I think the side profile definitely looks good. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, first thing I want to mention, this is something that Mercedes-Benz does on all of their vehicles now. There is no body-colored shark fin antenna, which is typically what I say on every other manufacturer out there. And it's such a clean look back there. I like it. But anyways, LED taillights do come standard. Another thing I want to mention though, you can get a rear spoiler. It can be either finished in body colored or gloss black. That goes for $300 if you're interested there. You got a rear diffuser with the AMG package like we have today. It's a matte black rear diffuser. It definitely looks good underneath there. And just below it all, Mercedes-Benz would want you to believe there are integrated dual exhaust outlets finished in chrome. But if you look further back, the exhaust tips are actually cut and they are pointed down to the ground, so they don't actually go through that. So anyways, there are dual exhaust outlets though, but they are tucked away underneath. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the CLA, when it comes to opening that trunk, there is a button on the key fob, but the coolest way to open the trunk is the 007 James Bond way, which is where you simply press in on the upper portion of that Mercedes-Benz logo, and the trunk is going to open up. Nobody else is going to know that but Mercedes-Benz CLA owners, I guarantee you. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 11.6 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 40-20-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. By the way, there are a couple levers found in the cargo area to go ahead and fold those rear seats down, so that was definitely very convenient. Of course, you have cargo lighting back there. There's actually chrome plated tie-down anchors. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you are going to find a little bit of in-floor storage there. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, that comes in at 33.9 inches. For reference, I am an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the second row. Rear legroom is actually doable for adults. It's more so the headroom that's a little questionable. Like I said, I'm an even 6 feet tall, and I did have to kind of crunch my head down just slightly, so that's the coupe-like silhouette for you. What can I say? But rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. You got rear ventilation back there as well. I love seeing that. And there is a single USB charging port for one of your kids to stay charged up. So anyways, then making our way up to the front seats, MB Text upholstery does come standard. Leather seating goes for $1,450 if you wanted that. Power adjustable front seats do come standard. Memory settings for both the driver and the passenger. Gotta love that. Typically you get the memory settings for just the driver, so it's pretty cool that Mercedes-Benz always does that passenger seat as well. Heated front seats do come standard. Ventilated front seats go for $950, and then you can get multi-contour front seats for $760 if you wanted that. But overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was okay. Not the very most comfortable seats, not like Lexus comfortable, but they were plenty comfortable. I didn't have any issues, and I really like the one-piece design. I think the design of them are just stinking cool, and ours is kind of a combination of leather and this suede inserts in the middle here with red contrast stitching, so very nice design to them, I will say that. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping, and is leather wrap. That does come standard, and if you wanted it, you can get a heated steering wheel that goes for $250 then. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. Essentially, all of your buttons are located on one side of the key. You got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear trunk there. The remote start is available via the Mercedes Me mobile app if you wanted to go ahead and do that. But of course, it is all keyless entry with a push button start, so all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the left of those center air vents there. And so once started up, there's a 10.25 inch digital gauge cluster that does come standard, and this is probably my favorite gauge cluster of any other gauge cluster out there, because there are so many different loadouts that you could include and switch up if you wanted to. So there's understated, which is one of my personal favorites. There's sport, which is almost like a 3D design. There's your classic Mercedes-Benz gauges, of course. There's a full navigation screen up there, kind of like Audi does, so I'm definitely a big fan of that as well. And on Mercedes-Benz SUVs, you can actually get an off-road driving mode as well, but this isn't an SUV, so that's not included. But still, it gives you everything you could possibly want up there, from digital speedometers. Of course, you got the speedometer and the tachometer. There's outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. The list goes on. Pretty much everything you could possibly want on a digital gauge cluster, more or less. So I'm a huge fan of that. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Believe it or not, a panoramic roof does come standard on the CLA 250. I love that. Universal garage door opener right here. It's found just on the bottom portion of this frameless rear view mirror, and that's for up to 3 different garage doors, by the way. Dual zone climate control does come standard. You also get 64 colors of ambient lighting, which isn't going to look that great right now, but at night, I guarantee you that is going to look absolutely phenomenal. They also have aluminum foot pedals, which I was a big fan of seeing as well. And another cool thing is when it comes to the interior lighting, it's kind of like a fade on and fade off effect. So they're going to slowly fade on and then slowly fade off. Very luxurious lighting there. Just in front of the cup holders, you got your wireless phone charger, a little bit of storage there. Of course, the cup holders are right behind that. You got a 12-volt power outlet there as well. A little bit of more rubberized storage just behind the drive mode buttons, and then within the center armrest, it's an okay amount of storage for what the vehicle is. You got a couple USB charging ports in there as well, but overall interior quality is great. I like the red contrast stitching. That looks great. I like this silver trim found above the passenger side glove box. It continues on to the doors. But I think my favorite part has got to be the bright ambient lighting. I literally just turned it up. I didn't even have it up all the way during that drive, but it's on the doors, it's above the passenger side glove box, it's surrounding all of the air vents as well. That's something that you typically won't find on other manufacturers. Of course, it's in the footwells too, but it just looks so dang good. Mercedes-Benz does ambient lighting better than anyone, I swear. But anyways, now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. Of course, to match the gauge cluster, you do have a 10.25 inch color touchscreen display. And yes, it is a color touchscreen display, but you also have the Hey Mercedes functionality.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
Turn up the radio. All right, well, she turned it on. She didn't really turn it up. I got to do that myself, I guess, but it's okay. Still, it's kind of cool to have it there. Anyways, Bluetooth and audio streaming coming standard, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can check out your ambient lighting settings up there, as I was just doing. Climate control settings up there as well, along with your radio information. So when it comes to the sound system, you will find an 8-speaker sound system coming standard, and it looks like it's got the Burmester logo on there as well, which means this sound system test would be kind of fun. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of our Burmester sound system that we have with us here today. Man, that was old school. Like, that was like back in middle school, old school. Like, I don't know, that was pretty darn good. Not my very favorite sound system for upgraded sound systems out there. Typically Burmester I'm pretty impressed with. That was pretty good. It wasn't like blow your mind good, but it was pretty darn good. So I don't have an issue with that. Plenty of bass, plenty of clarity, so it's pretty good. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the CLA in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, but there is an optional surround view monitor that comes with the parking assistance package that we don't have with us here today. But I will say this rear view camera is incredibly high definition, so I was a big fan of that. But that, as always, is going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard. Also up front, a driver's knee airbag. Then you can also get rear side impact airbags for an additional $700 if you wanted to go that route. But also in the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, active brake assist, Mercedes-Benz emergency call service, attention assist, blind spot assist, crosswind assist, and adaptive braking technology then as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the CLA, the ambient lighting is stunning. Since I'm still sitting here looking at it, it looks absolutely phenomenal. The styling is definitely on point as well. I love the 4-door coupe design. I always have in vehicles, so definitely a big fan of that. I would say the driving dynamics are definitely very nice as well. So that includes things like the braking feel is incredible. The steering feel and handling also definitely incredible. Ride quality was perfectly fine as well. So love the driving dynamics in this thing. As far as room for improvement goes, I'll give you two things. There was a little bit of turbo lag, so driving dynamics were good with the exception of that little bit of turbo lag. I would have loved to have seen that been eliminated in some form. Then of course, since this is a coupe-like design, the rear seat headroom is kind of snug. Not that the legroom was bad, but the headroom is well, better suited for children. I'll just put it that way. But let me know what you guys think of the CLA 250 in the comments section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that's what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.